I'd like to do a short introduction. I have here Dr. Surajit Khanna. He is the champion of Voice of the Kids, and I am on the board of voiceofthekids.org. And he is also works with Khanna for Kids, and he helps more than one nonprofit organization. So he speaks at school, been quoted on a newspaper. He has been on numerous radio shows. We're excited about our potential partnership with WPAT and Willie and you. We're still working out the details, but we're very glad last week that Dr. Khanna was received very well. Short speech, I believe, and then we're going to have some questions for you.
Thank you, Pastor Willie. I am really privileged to address the audience here. I really enjoyed talking to you and everybody, and thank you, Pastor Gary, for giving me the opportunity to address during this most precious time the whole world is going through. I think the only way we can get out, the only vaccine which is going to work is God's blessings. And we have to protect each and every fellows here and their children. The topic which I thought would be very interesting to talk about, a message that every parents should hear, that is that the value of civic education on the kids. The kids need to understand that what kind of value they could have if you have proper civic education. I want to give some of the facts, and the sources are from various sources I collected, and I was amazed, and I want to share this, that children played a key factor in the Revolutionary War. Did you know that? Not many people know that. The kids or children played a major factor in this. Life during the American Revolution was difficult for everyone. Families were torn apart, lives were lost, times were harsh, and children and adults suffered. Some children lost both their father and mother, and they were called war orphans. Others stayed with their surviving family to avoid attacks and raids. But the majority of the children, however, participated in war in some small way. Do you know how they got involved into it? Both girls and boys both contributed in many, many ways. And you will be amazed by knowing this. The eldest son of each family became the unofficial head of household because they were all young. They were all below 18. So they became the unofficial head of household and would pick up where their father left off. They were in charge of protecting and providing for their mothers and siblings. Childhoods cut short, so boys could become men to protect their families. The army also needed bugle boys, drummer boys, messengers. I heard drummers right during my call here. So we needed those, the army needed those boys. And in some cases, boys were enlisted as soldiers. Not that ends. Girls would help their mothers with household chores and caring for younger children. Soldiers were malnourished and did not have the proper clothing for the winters. And guess what? These girls, these young girls, would help provide food or clothing for these soldiers. All were made by hand by those girls. They were forced to become the second mothers of the families. In some cases, they sheltered soldiers from British Army, and some even helped care for the wounded. Do you know how these children got affected by this? These are children, okay? They didn't have their parents, they didn't have anybody to train them, and now they have been the household head of the household. And children were hurt emotionally. mentally, and some even physically. Soldiers roamed the streets, making it unsafe for children to go to school, with most dropping out of the age 8 to 10. Children had to witness battles, hangings, and shootings. And they affected the war. People only give credit to those who fought in the war. This is why I wanted to bring this topic, so the kids can understand that they are so valuable in this particular moment which our world is going through, this pandemic. This is none less than a war. So people only give credit to those who fought in the war. What those people don't know, that without these children, the war would not have been the same. This is very, very important, that that American Revolution, the rights we had, Dr. King fought for us, all these things would not have happened if these children would not have contributed. John Kennedy Jr. said once, I'm going to quote on this, "My fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." Sadly, today, much of today's youth is not interested in doing something for this country, and some are more interested in doing something to the country. Well, because they were not taught. Kids are not taught about the civic duty or about giving back. Too often they are concerned about what they are going to get, not what they can give. Unfortunately, this sometimes make problems rather than solving issues. And I'm going to quote this particular one from Pensacola News Journal. They wrote an article here where it says, this is why we have to teach our children about civic education and contribution. And I agree with it. And that's the reason why I really strongly want to go in this air. I want every parent, every guardian, every adult to hear this, that children are important. They are contributing to everything. So we need to teach our children. We need to motivate our children. In fact, it's our duty as fellow Americans, because when we make our commitments economically strong, better for all citizens, we make our country what way they do. Our children will inherit our towns, our cities, our country, becoming a strong, better, more vibrant place to live. Takes years. It is not decades, if not decades. What is important here, that we need to start teaching them now what makes communities great. I know during this riots going on, this Black Lives Matter, which is so important, but we are not emphasizing that all these things will pass by and these children will be the next adult. What are they going to do? Because they're going to see what riots are going, what things are happening. So they're not going to learn anything. They're going to sit back home and all they will be doing is playing in their video games. They need to be out. They need to know what contribution they can do to this war going on. America is not just one place. It's a vast network of small places, like states, cities, counties, towns, villages, hamlets, you name it. All communities that contribute to this great country in many ways. To see this, you simply have to compare our country with many others. Things we take for granted, like the ability to vote, simple comforts like plumbing, phones, garbage removal, etc., are not common in many other countries. And I can say that. And I've been traveling, I've been to many countries. They even don't have garbage removal. So we are lucky that we are in a country where everything is given, but we cannot take it as granted. This is why America is the number one destination for those people seeking a better life, more opportunity, and the ability to advance themselves and their family. You earn freedom. Freedom was not given to us. More people want in than people want out. It's up to us, the American citizens, to make this country the best. It can be not to tear it down. When unfairness in today's society is found, we need to teach our children how to peacefully demand justice. Not that take it into their own hands. Civic education, civic duty is a necessary part of this. And ideally, it starts early. How early it can be? This is the right time, 2020. I told in last couple of messages that it is like a vision 2020. So God has given us the chance here that the next generation needs to be educated on civic education and civic duty. This is very important because I wanted to emphasize today that the next generation is leading this country. It is not us who is leading this country. The next generation is leading the country. We all are fighting for a lot of things, but we are not making our country safe and getting ready for the next generation. This type of opportunity comes only once in a lifetime. When did this American Revolution started? When was this Martin Luther King did the civil rights? It has been 100 years ago, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And this is the opportunity right now. We have to make our kids ready. So if the kids are listening to this, please be motivated. Schools and colleges are not going to teach you about your civic duties. We as the parent, we as the guardian, we as a citizen, adult citizen of this country should focus on teaching civic education and civic duties and their civic responsibilities to give back to the community. This is like Mother Earth. Mother gives us, keeps us for 9 months in the womb, and then feeds us, makes us a young person, and then gets us education so that we can have our bread and earning and everything. So the 18 years the mother and father contributes to us. Now it is time for, after that 18 years, to give back, not to disrespect them. God will be happy if we can do that. Jesus came and taught us this. He is an example how he cared all the citizens. He taught them. So we have to teach our kids and make them ready. Just like how during a war, the armies get ready. So war is coming. Every day there is a war. How are we going to take it? So I really want to emphasize this. Please take it seriously. And we have solution, and the solutions are our kids. Thank you very much. Please educate your children in the right executive that their civic duty is very important. Pastor Willie, I really appreciate that the message which this radio station can reach, they are the future of our country. And I'm thankful to Pastor Gary. I'm thankful to all the audience, those who are listening to this, that let's make it happen. Nothing is impossible because the kids are going to be adult tomorrow. And we are going to be old and we are going to be in the graveyard. Who is going to take care of us? Who is going to take care of the country? There is no life insurance that is going to be taking care of all these things. God has given us the opportunity to do this. So let's be together. Let's do it. Unity is the force. So Black Lives Matters because we can be unity. There is no color. All colors, we have to be colorblind and we got to move forward. There's only black and white. That's all. Kids need to learn this, their civic duty. I really wanted to emphasize this, that we just had the Independence Day, and then we all are talking about, getting us ready. That's fine, but we got to make our next generation ready. They need to understand, they need to be motivated. And they don't have any motivation to give anything back. I really don't want the kids, for me, there's no black kids, there's no white kids, there's no purple kids. For me, kids are kids. When kids are looking at the TV, kids are seeing what's happening, what the police officers are doing, because the police officers are taking the law, the Constitution in their hand, and they're trying to discriminate and doing this. It is not about color. It is about their own fear, insecurity in this community. So my message would be the way I would handle, if we provide the right education to the kids, whether it is a black kid, whether it's a white kid, that whoever the opposite is taking, the law enforcement officer who is supposed to be enforcing the law, supposed to be protecting the citizens, they are feeling insecure. Why they're feeling insecure? Because they are not properly trained, they're not properly educated on this particular matter, because they were kids before. Today they're adult. They definitely, and I can vouch this, Pastor Willie, that they definitely did not get the education which they were supposed to get about civic rights, civic duties, and protecting the Constitution. That means protecting the whole country. That's why, this is the only country where we all need to protect each other. Police officers are not the only people to protect the citizens. We need to protect ourselves. We need to protect our kids. So the education a parent should give to their child, which is very mind-boggling, because they're seeing in front of their eyes how these police officers are treating the citizens. I understand that, but at the same token, we can't go back and do that. It's just an analogy which I always use. If a dog comes and bites you, we cannot go back and bite the dog.
If you want to get in touch with us, we're voiceofthekids.org, voiceofthekids.org. And Dr. Khanna, you can reach him at his website, which is
khannaforkids.com. We'll be glad to help reach out to the kids, to the parents, and we will provide the solution. Again, thank you very much, Pastor Willie. I'm here at your service, and praise the God.